I'm the girl with the 2 ex-husbands and the ex-girlfriend.
The divorce papers! I want a divorce.
Oh my God! Samoa dropped through the...
Not again!
Lana! We forgot about Lana!
We just gotta keep on getting back up.
Lana!
And when we get back up, it's okay to tell ourselves, good job.
Lana's got a title opportunity!
I'm proud of me. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of me that I got back up.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is Diaz.
And the Taracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
And we are here for the WWE 2020 Draft Analysis. That sounds really intense.
It does. I feel like I'm an ESPN, which I watch all the time because I play fantasy football. So they tell me who I should pick in my draft.
As if WWE put any actual thoughts into it.
We are going to put more thought and effort into this than they did the draft.
At least for the women's wrestling fans, we've already seen like 3 drafts happen before this. So we got Mandy and Dana drafted to Raw. And then we got Ember Moon drafted to NXT.
That was really like the biggest ones that we saw. And like nobody from NXT even got drafted.
I mean, I feel like Mercedes Martinez got drafted back to NXT.
Yeah, like, but quietly, like nobody said anything. It was like an under the table draft deal, I guess. Do you remember back in the day when it was the draft and everybody was sitting backstage with their appropriate Raw or SmackDown shirts, and then their name would be called and they would like zoom in to see their reaction? They'd be like, oh man, that was so cool. Or even whenever they would have like the random face going beep, 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 and like when somebody from Raw won a match, it means they got to pick. If somebody from SmackDown won a match, they got to pick. And it'll be like beep, 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 and it would stop on somebody's face. It'll be like, what? That was at least a little bit more engaging and entertaining than Stephanie McMahon coming out and reading names super fast and just going through it like, okay. And also, I hated that people who are already on Raw got drafted to Raw. That's not how it works. You're not necessarily drafting somebody who's already there.
So let's talk about confirmed Raw roster. So we've got 13 women on Raw. We've got Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce, Lana. And on the tag team side, we've got Team Shania, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke. And we've also got Mia Yim, the Reckoning Mia Yim, is on Raw too. Yeah, so let's talk about Raw a little bit. Very stacked roster. What was noteworthy about Raw is that they saved a couple women from SmackDown that was stuck there not doing anything. So we saved Naomi. We've got Lacey Evans on the show, especially with Asuka. Her first competitor since winning the title from Sasha Banks was Zelina. And then now she's going to have the whole feud with Lana, we're guessing. Having Naomi and Lacey Evans, and to a point, like Nikki Cross, will have some interesting rivalry set up for her.
It's just funny to me because I feel like most of the women who were on SmackDown are all now on Raw. So they all basically just moved together. I am interested to see what happens with them, but I kind of wish it would have mixed up a little bit more because I feel like just like SmackDown, you're over here now. But I am glad that Asuka has some new fresh faces that she could have some maybe great feuds with.
Who do you see in this roster that would be a good feud for Asuka?
Lacey, maybe? Just because I think like they both have really good, strong characters and gimmicks. I actually thought that's who's going to win the Battle Royal that they had. Naomi, of course. I would love to see Naomi go against her. So many bright colors all in one match. But I think their styles are very different. But I think it would actually help elevate Naomi a little bit more because I feel like Naomi needs like that really, really good run or that really, really good storyline that would just solidify her. And I think she could pull that off with Asuka.
Absolutely. When Naomi got drafted to Raw, Hurt Business was interested. They had that interesting emoji.
That would be super cool because I feel like the Hurt Business is like, we're all about business, girl. Like that. Like they're like the tough guys. So it'd be kind of cool to see Naomi in that because Naomi's now like, feel the glow. I'm so happy and bright and all that stuff. So it'd be kind of cool to see her turn into like the boss bitch that she is, be more of that type of role. It would be such a shift for her character that I think will be even more impressive. And I definitely think it needs to be a Black woman in her business for sure. I mean, she was kind of like that in Team Bad. You know, that was kind of cool. I like seeing that. So I'm here for it. I would love that.
I think Naomi and Lacey Evans both will be very credible competitor already. And of course, we've got Shayna and Nia Jax, who are the currently tag champs. But when they decided to not be involved with tag division, which there is only 3 teams right now, they're both very big names, so they can always jump into singles competition and be very good number one contender position. And we've also got Charlotte Flair, who got drafted. I felt like the rule was that injured superstars won't be drafted, but Charlotte Flair, when she does come back, she will be a big force on Raw, of course. Who are we worried for on Raw?
Nikki Cross. I feel she might be lost in the shuffle a little bit. I almost kind of wish she stayed on SmackDown. She could have stood out a little bit more. Yeah, that's what I'm mainly worried about.
Especially because after her storyline with Alexa Bliss was dropped, she just is there as a good girl.
Then what? You know, she's just like floating around through space in this like weird purgatory type of thing. Like, she should have really stayed on SmackDown.
I know. And it's especially heartbreaking because we've seen what she could do back in NXT as a dark psycho Nikki Cross. Compare that to Alexa Bliss, what she's doing right now. I totally feel like Nikki Cross would have done a better job as Fiend's partner, but whatever. That's already happened. Whatever. I think it's extremely heartbreaking because we're comparing her with Alexa Bliss. So I hope Nikki Cross gets something on Raw, but this is such a stacked roster. I don't know if she will stand out, especially with the current gimmick. Maybe she does turn dark. Maybe there could be something. Yeah. I'm also worried for Peyton Royce.
Yeah, I know. Especially after that Battle Royal. I'm like, all right, this is the time to shine. And it's so crazy because everybody's like, they broke up the Iconics so Peyton Royce can have her singles run or her singles push. Like, where's that?
And I know that she's trying different like entrants and stuff like that, but still right now, as a solo competitor, she doesn't shine yet.
I agree. And I don't think she's been giving her a chance or room to shine because she's had that one match with Billy. Then what? You know, I feel like we should have gotten right into a feud right then to separate her and make her shine and give us a reason to like her as a singles competitor, but they're not giving that to us. I mean, it's not her fault. You know, it's not like she's not doing anything. They're just not giving her the opportunity to.
Especially with Raw, there's so many characters, so many strong personality on this stacked roster. I'm so worried for Peyton. So Peyton, you gotta work hard, go to main event, and find your groove real quick.
The Raw is like the blonde-tourage. So many blondies on Raw now.
Let's move to SmackDown. So we got 10 women on SmackDown. We got Bayley as a SmackDown Women's Champion, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Carmella, Natalya, Tamina, Zelina Vega, Billie Kay, and as a tag team, we've got Riot Squad, Ruby Riot, and Liv Morgan.
This one's a little bit more of a mix-up, in my opinion, way more than Raw, because I feel like everybody who was on SmackDown just moved to Raw together. But I am super excited for Bianca Belair versus Bayley. That has to happen. Great feud, great build-up for that. That'll be really good. I was surprised that Zelina Vega got drafted to SmackDown, but I think they're trying to get her away from being just a manager. So I'm excited to see her break out.
I am more salivating for Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. I feel like that's the money match for me.
Okay, there you go.
It's an interesting situation because SmackDown, it's less crowded, so there's more room to breathe, but the storyline is crowded because we've got Bayley and Sasha Banks going on. I wonder if you're going to finish or wrap that story up in Hell in a Cell, because usually a Hell in a Cell match is like the ultimate match where the story ends, but I feel like there's more to be told, right?
I totally agree, for sure. Like, and I actually hated that they had a match this weekend. I hated that they even touched each other, honestly. But of course, it had to end in a DQ. But why even have a match? I do feel that that is the overpowering, like the umbrella storyline. And if any other woman, like, I feel like there would just be like chess pieces that could be plugged in. So I don't feel like any other women in SmackDown, at least, would have their own separate storyline. I wish they do, or maybe that will change. But I feel like that will, as long as Sasha and Bayley still going on, I feel like that's going to be like the looming cloud over every woman in SmackDown.
Yeah, that's what I think. So I'm a little worried about SmackDown Women, if they will have time to shine. I mean, a lot of people think Sasha and Bayley will go until WrestleMania. So if that happens, all these women won't have stuff to do for half a year almost.
Floating around in purgatory again with Nikki Cross. This is going to be a whole bunch of women just don't know what to do.
Who are you most worried about on SmackDown?
Billie Kay and Natalya. Because I feel like with Natalya, they had just partnered up with Lana for some reason, and while I hated it, it kind of worked.
Yeah,
they're both equally as annoying and very wine drunk suburban mom vibes to me. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then they broke them up, and then now they're separated. And so I'm like, what now for Natalya? Pulled the rug on that too quick. Like just when I was tired, it started kind of like, okay, I can kind of dig this. And Lana had just gotten made all that super cute pink and black gear too. I'm a little bit worried for Natalya and obviously Billie Kay.
I'm worried for the Riot Squad because since getting back together and feuding with Shania, I don't think that helped them at all, right?
No, if anything, it hurt them.
And then they're just alone in SmackDown as a tag team, so I really don't know what's happening with them. This is killing Liv Morgan's momentum, if anything.
Yeah, for sure. Because she came back and for a little bit, I'm like, okay, she's improving, busting out some cool new moves. And this is not doing anything to help her at all. Like she's, if anything, she's retreating to what she was.
I'm interested to see what Carmella does because she has this new gimmick. She's not a princess anymore. Who will she feud with? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe her and Natalya could partner up. That's something. I don't know. You know,
SmackDown again, because there's such a big storyline going on, I'm scared about what other women will do. Hopefully there could be some secondary storyline for them too.
Even if it's a small one, it doesn't have to be like this huge, drawn out, intricate storyline. Legit, just have somebody feud for like 3 shows. And
you're right. So we've got free agents. So Mickie James, right now on WWE.com, she's listed as SmackDown, but she wasn't drafted.
That makes no sense. And, oh my God, I don't know what is going on with Mickie. They did this big whole thing that she's back and she's like the 6-time women's champion. She's a legend, and then disrespect that they had of her, the whole like no entrances and how they lost, and now she's a free agent. What is at this point? Mickie James, just go to NXT, and not in a bad way, like in a great way.
She'll do well in NXT. Yeah,
amazing, totally.
She does have a nose injury that will take a couple weeks to heal, and that was like their reasoning for not drafting her, I feel like. But Charlotte Flair, who is like injured storyline wise, is drafted. So the disrespect, the audacity. We also have Becky Lynch, who is listed as Raw on WWE.com, but she's out of action, so she's not drafted. And also Sonya Deville, free agent too.
See, those two make sense on why they're free agents. Mickie James does not whatsoever. And I still don't understand why no NXT drafts.
There weren't many surprises.
No, at all. And most of the time the draft is like, oh yeah, what? That's crazy. That's going to be good. And now we're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I was at least waiting for Melina or Eva Marie. What was that news about Eva Marie?
I know, what was the point? Again, at least you would have been like, oh wow, something to talk about.
Right?
Something different. Nope.
Let's talk about the matches that happened on SmackDown and Raw really briefly. Sasha versus Bayley happened, their singles match. Obviously, we hated it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as it was happening, I'm like, I hate this is happening. I hate that this is happening. And the match wasn't even bad. Like, they obviously were short, and obviously it ended the way it should end, but they shouldn't even have to touch. And come on, she's wrestling after a few weeks from a neck injury. They should have had like arm or leg injury, not, you know, if that was going to be the case. But a neck injury that took out Edge for 9 years, okay.
She just twisted it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
This feud has been building for months, for years, and then I'm definitely getting the sense that this is super rushed. Sasha Banks got like huge injury angle and she was taken out, but then like after a couple of weeks she's wrestling again.
Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm glad having a match at Hell in a Cell, but I'm not happy that the whole lead up to it, like they shouldn't even have touched. They cut a promo. They should have just done a promo with each other. Why not?
Even though Sasha's cutting like amazing promo week after week, I don't know. There's so much more materials they can work with, but it doesn't seem like they're tapping into the full potential. So I'm a little sad.
Hopefully they put on a 5-star, 6-star match and go from there, because I don't know. I would not be mad if their feud ended in Hell in a Cell.
And also we know that Sasha Banks is a queen of Hell in a Cell. She's been in all women's Hell in a Cell in the history of WWE. So
awesome. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that, but you're so right.
Who do you think should win?
Sasha? Yeah. It'll be a good tight little leave the fans happy, especially if she's gonna go on and do all this cool Star Wars stuff and be this big mainstream media star. Why not have her, come out on top and have a nice little tie-in bows of this feud, leave the fans happy. And also it'll be a nice change for Bayley, a nice change of scenery, which is weird saying that because I feel like she's been a heel for so long now. I don't even know how long she's been a heel for, but I'm interested to see what would happen if she did lose. Maybe she'll be even more more annoying and even more better.
You know, I think the worst case scenario is that Bayley wins and Sasha Banks go out of action, and then we just wait for her to come back during like Royal Rumble or WrestleMania time. I feel like that would be the worst case scenario, because Bayley has been champion for over a year now.
Yeah.
Over a year! And what do we freaking remember? I mean, Bayley, great performer. She's been amazing. But what do we remember about this 1 year reign?
Yeah, she hasn't even really defended her title too much. There has not been a competitor that is actually a legit threat to Bayley, because they just throw her random matches with Nikki Cross here and there, and Asuka randomly comes out. But there hasn't been a buildup of, oh wow, this girl can really take on Bayley. You know, like she should really watch out. No, not at all.
I think the problem is she did defend it a lot, but we don't remember any of that.
I guess that makes it even worse.
We don't have any noteworthy matches or feud from it other than Sasha Banks. So I do want Sasha Banks to take it during Hell in a Cell. Sasha can be a champion for a little bit, and maybe she can wait for Bayley to come back from a little hiatus. So that's what I do want to see.
Same.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's move to Raw. So we've got a tag match that happened for weeks. We've got Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Lana. So before this match, we had a little Miz TV segment where I think Mandy looked more comfortable than before. What did you think?
I think so too. She definitely felt not as robotic as before. She definitely seemed, it was more of herself talking, as opposed to like, I'm a character that's trying to say this. So it seemed a little bit more natural. I also did notice that it was like the battle of the designer belt buckles, because everybody was wearing a super fancy designer belt in that ring. And it was like Team Blantourage all around. But I guess my only complaint about this segment is that went a little bit too long. I think it would have sat a little bit better and went a little bit smoother if it was maybe like cut by like 2-3 minutes. But it was fine. I think they need these platforms. How are they going to improve and be better on the mic, be better promos, be better characters if they're not given these opportunities? And while this might have not been perfect, I think it's definitely a step forward for the good for everybody.
I hope they could have explained a little bit more about the partnership between Dana and Mandy, but they're just like, we're friends.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like, I trust her completely. Like, yo, she and Sonya were like best friends for 5 years, and all of a sudden you have this big old trust on the person you've been friends with like 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're friends. Yeah, we like each other. Yeah. And then Lana came in and I'm like, I'm the one with a 2 ex-husband and an ex-girlfriend. I slay. And I'm like, okay, Lana.
Acknowledge, finally. I thought they were never going to acknowledge that again.
And Lana, honestly, was a workhorse of this Raw episodes, because she got that promo, she got a tag match, and she got that Battle Royale and took over that main event situation.
And she got put to the table again. It's a total rib now. They're totally doing it as a punishment for her.
Oh my God, Samoa drop!
Poor girl, but it's a total rib now.
That's what I thought, because I thought that was all happening as a rib and for like Miro going to AEW.
Yeah.
But after yesterday's Raw, I was like, maybe she was just paying her due to be the #1 contender.
I feel like they told her like, all right, so you're gonna be basically a joke for 4 weeks, but hey, you get to win this battle royal, yay! Well, you will have to do this, but look at this new shiny thing at the end of the rainbow.
I'm happy for her in that sense. So the match was, again, fine. I think Mandy is getting more comfortable in the ring, especially working with Dana Brooke.
I think so too. They look really good together. It reminds me a lot of like Attitude Era type of look and stuff, which is fine. I just hope that Mandy gets a little bit more than just the knee, because I feel like she goes to that a lot. While it's a really good looking knee strike, I just feel like she needs a little bit more. Dana, I thought it was so scary when she got on her shoulders and did the senton off of them. Both of them looked very unsure of that move. I was scared for them. I'm so glad it worked out.
Dana Brooke all the way on the shoulders. Top of the tower, Tom.
But maybe they need to work on a little bit more on their friendship and their double tag team moves to make it a little bit less scary for everybody.
Yeah, and then the thing that happened after this match is the boat has sailed.
The boat sunk.
We talked about it already a little bit, but I'm sad that this team broke up, because I felt like Natalya, this was something fresh for Natalya, and she was interesting, I thought.
Yeah, they broke them up even before they could really get a whole like steam ahead. Like they broke them up even before they got going. Like I didn't really get to see the whole like sense of what it could be. I like those annoying promos, but I feel like they could have been so much more annoying. Imagine all like even the TikTok videos they could do. They could play during Raw. Like I do agree that there was something fresh for Natty and something that she needed because Natty could easily. She's like one bad turn away from being bland Natty again. So this was something new and fresh, and I'm kind of sad that they did away with it so fast.
Yeah, that was what I was really excited about.
Yeah,
this team because Natalya has been pretty fresh with the new gimmick, and of course Lana didn't do anything in women's division until this happened. So I thought this was a good direction for two of them, but they broke up. So I'm really sad. So I hope Natalya doesn't go back to who she was back in SmackDown. Come on, you guys! But also, we lost the boat, we lost the Iconics. This entire tag division is a 3-team division.
Brace yourself for random people being partnered soon, I'm sure.
The other cool moment that happened on Raw is Sister Abigail, the double Sister Abigail moment from Alexa Bliss and The Fiend on Zelina and Andrade.
I'm excited for this because I hope that they... but then Zelina got drafted to SmackDown.
I know!
I know, I was about to say, I'm excited for this because I love that there's going to be mixed tag team matches, but I'm like, hold on. I just realized that is not going to happen. But that was a really cool visual. Like, it was a really cool visual. I do think that Nikki Cross could have been a way better, almost like you could see it in her eyes, believable. But I think they didn't do that because it's more of like a bigger turn for Alexa than it would be for Nikki Cross. And Nikki Cross would be kind of be like, oh yeah, that's her usual self. And Alexa Bliss was like, but she was so nice and cute. You know, I guess it's more of a change for her, but it's still good for what it is.
Are you intrigued by Alexa Bliss? Are you entertained by this?
I think I'm more entertained to see where they're going with it as a whole, as opposed to her being Mini Fiend, Mrs. Fiend. Are they like together, or are they just like a partnership, or is it like a domestic partnership, or is it like roommates? But we all know they're more than that type of thing.
I think this is interesting. Definitely, like I like that Alexa's doing something different. I don't know. I'm not completely on board with this. I'm sure that Joey will be like, what the hell, DS? But I don't know. I'm not too pumped about this yet. It's like visually not all the way that I want it to be. Like
mask, or she needs a little bit more doing besides I have cute crazy buns and a leather vest.
Right? Yeah, like the Chun-Li ball. I need a little more than that.
Yeah, go there. Like if they're gonna go there, go there. Like go all the way there. Commit. Have her be creepy. Have her come out with a little lantern of Alexa Bliss's face too. You know? Something. Go all in. If you're gonna do it, go all in.
From KO show to this, the vibe I'm getting is that it's cute. It's cute. I'm not sensing that sense of danger, sense of urgency, sense of darkness that I felt from previous other dark character that we've seen in WWE.
I'm just more interested in where this is going to go as a story as opposed to her as a character.
You're right.
They amp her at that because I think this is the first time we see them like together, like I guess officially, and both do the same move. I just want them to go push it even further.
Lastly, we've got the main event of the show, Battle Royale. And I'm like, yes, Melina's gonna come back, Eva Marie's gonna come back, Charlotte Flair's gonna come back, but no surprise. But the win was a surprise, so I'm not mad about it.
What I was mad about was how it's gonna be a dual brand Battle Royale for the Raw Women's Champion. It's kind of like, what was the point of the draft? This would have made more sense any day besides draft day. And might as well get this out of the way. How dare they interrupt the women's match again with Daddy Randy Orton and majestic looking Drew McIntyre, which I both appreciate looking at, but not during a women's match. Come on, y'all. That was so dumb. They should have not done that at all. Like, what? Why do they keep on having to do this to women? Like, you never see women having to do that, distracted by men, and they would never even think about doing that. I was very, very disappointed about that.
Disappointed.
I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed.
Well, you know, the match was actually, this Battle Royale was actually pretty good Battle Royale.
Yeah, I totally agree. Sometimes Battle Royales are almost like a cluster that just you don't know what's going on. But they did really good things where the eliminations were separated enough where you could actually see who was eliminated. That's another thing about battle royals is sometimes the eliminations go like this, and you're like, wait, what happened? Who eliminated what? And I really like that whole little cute Riot Squad spot that had towards the end, where it was them two versus Natalya and Lacey, and the cute little moment where they like both held each other's hands, like just squeezed each other's hands, and then went and beat them up. I'm like, yeah, see, this is a real tag team. Then it's not just randomly thrown together, and then how they both got eliminated at the same time. That was cute too. And that's the thing with battle royals too. Whenever you're in a battle royal, they tell you don't do spots because then there's too many people involved. Somebody could get injured. There could be miscommunication. But whenever it gets dwindled down, like with less than like 4 people or less, it's easier to do stuff. So I'm glad that they did that. But yeah, it was actually a really good battle royal because most of the time it could be just like a throwaway or a cluster, but this was fine.
I loved the Nia Shayna mic work at first. I thought that was so interesting. Nia attacking Lana outside was really cool. Also, Bianca eliminating Shayna was kind of a shock.
It was. I think that was a great call, whoever came up with that, because you have to kind of be a badass to eliminate a badass. You know, you like takes one to know one. So that was a really cool interaction. And I really liked too that Shayna eliminated Nia to kind of build up the whole tag teams, but that don't get along again. But it worked with them. But I really like seeing Bianca in it. She did great.
So what do we think of Lana winning?
I knew she was gonna win because I'm like, oh no, they're gonna do the whole. After she went through the table, I'm like, wait, did she even get eliminated? Is she gonna go through that? I'm fine with her winning. I was surprised. I definitely did not expect that. I actually wonder though if they're gonna do more of a one match done thing, or they're gonna do an actual like storyline build up with Asuka. So that's what I'm interested to see.
I did not notice that Lana was not eliminated, so I was like, okay, Natty, okay, go Natty. No, I was shocked when Lana won. It was a good surprise, I feel like, because we want some surprise,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we definitely want some surprises, and a lot of people are like, oh, Lana, but no, I mean, who knows? Maybe this will end up being great, and I kind of feel like I'm telling you, this is Lana's reward for going through so many tables.
And we also had the storyline earlier that day where Natalya basically said no to Lana, so it's kind of a revenge. So there's actually some storyline that went into it, which I liked. But as far as Asuka's title reign, she had to go through Zelina and now Lana. So, I mean, two of them are, no disrespect for them, but they're not credible competitors, right? Yeah. They're trying to be built as that. It almost seems like kind of like a Diva era booking where they put people against champion to make them credible instead of building them to be a credible competitor. Yeah, I don't think this is helping Asuka's reign to be super...
Me either.
Super legitimate, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I totally agree what you said too about the whole like, oh, well, Asuka's amazing wrestler. She can make anybody look good. But also that's kind of like a detriment too when you're so good they just put you in with like, I don't want to say shitty people, but people who are still on the up and up to make them look good. So I don't know. I'm interested to see like where this goes. Do you think it's going to be more than just one match and done, or do you think it's going to be play out into like a storyline?
So their women's championship match is scheduled for next Raw, so it might just be a Raw match.
And now that Natty's on SmackDown, I don't think Natty can like, I mean, who knows? There's no rules. I was going to say, oh, she's going to interfere and cost her the match, but...
And as we talked about it, we do have some credible competitors like Naomi, Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross, Shania Payne. So it might be a setup for them to be the next challenger. We did rediscover Zelina through Asuka match. So I do hope this is a chance for Lana to show that she is here to stay. She's been trying to wrestle for years.
Yep.
She just didn't have that much chance to show what she's got. So hope she can take this opportunity, put herself over. Also at the same time, I hope Asuka can get some credible opponents coming up soon, because right now, just like Zelina, Lana's not much of a threat.
I agree. And it's not even so much that they're not of a threat because like, oh, they won't have a good match. Is that they're not a threat because it's all of a sudden they're wrestling for the championship. Like, and it's not so much as believable as if they were worked up and like, gone through different matches and finally they get the championship shot. But I don't hate it, but I'm kind of skeptical about it.
All right, so that is our draft review / analysis. We tried our best.
We did our best with what we were given with.
I hope you guys all watched our interview with Jazz, because that was a freaking...
I know. It's always so cool seeing the Ring the Bell stuff on Squared Circle on Reddit, because I'm all reading it. I'm like, oh, this is what rings the bell. So it's always really cool whenever it makes some waves. But that interview was so good, and I thought it was so cool that you're like, oh, hey, my co-host wants to wrestle you.
Paloma Star, she's been wrestling for 10 years. Her literal idol is you, and her dream is to wrestle you.
See what I'm saying? Like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, she better come to Chicago in 2021.
Crazier things have happened, like, this whole year.
Please go watch it. It's one of my favorite interviews I've done. She's so cool.
She's so cool. Like, how can she be that intimidating, that much of a badass, and seem like so cool and so down to earth? And like, my favorite part was like when her twins are like, oh, we're gonna be wrestlers, and like they had to learn how to clean house and wash dishes first. Like, everybody can relate to that. Like, everybody can relate to their parents saying that to them. I mean, not the whole wrestling thing, because I mean, obviously not everybody has like awesome WWF women champions as parents, but I could totally relate being told to go wash the dishes and clean house.
And also, I'm getting like 10 messages every day. Where is Layla interview?
Where is the Layla interview?
They're 11 today. But anyway, it's coming in next couple weeks. We are doing a bit of a reshoot. It's going to be very exclusive, y'all. I'm so excited about that. And on top of that, Rosa Mendes interview also coming up. She says she wants to finish some project before she gets on an interview with us so she can talk about it. So I'm not the one not doing it. It's Rosa. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching this week's review. Paloma, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Paloma Star, and DS. Where can we find you?
You can find me at DS on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. All right, bye.